Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Let's dive in.
Under the waves is where we belong.
Scientists are using AI to hack Wi-Fi routers to see you in your home like a camera.
So what they did is they had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation, right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings.
No real cameras, no microphones required, just the invisible waves bouncing around your house right now, watching you breathe, move, and even sleep. And the scariest part, you wouldn't even know it's happening. Wi-Fi routers don't just send out internet, they send out radio waves that bounce off everything in your house. Your walls, furniture, your own body. Every time you move, even just slightly, those waves change. They bend, scatter, and reflect differently. And now AI can read that change and that chaos like a... Scientists are using AI to hack Wi-Fi routers to see you in your home like a camera.
So what they did is they had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation, right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings.
No real cameras, no microphones required, just the invisible waves bouncing around your house right now, watching you breathe, move, and even sleep. And the scariest part, you wouldn't even know it's happening. Wi-Fi routers don't just send out internet, they send out radio waves that bounce off everything in your house. Your walls, furniture, your own body. Every time you move, even just slightly, those waves change. They bend, scatter, and reflect differently. And now AI can read that change and that chaos like a book. Thanks to breakthroughs in machine learning, scientists have trained models to analyze these patterns and reconstruct your physical movement, your position, your posture, using nothing but Wi-Fi data. This isn't a conspiracy theory, this is peer-reviewed science. MIT created a system called RF Pose, which can track people through walls. Carnegie Mellon University used 2 off-the-shelf routers to create silhouette images of people moving in a room. Other researchers show this can be done with an almost 100% accuracy. Again, no camera needed, just your Wi-Fi. This is the kind of thing that just decades ago was military grade. Now it's just software and some smart routers. Of course, publicly the narrative is a little different. Researchers say that this tech could be used for elderly care, detecting falls or health emergencies, which it could be, to be fair. Sleep monitoring, tracking breathing patterns or movement, both of which it can do. And security systems, spotting intruders even if the cameras are off. But here's the big catch with this, you wouldn't know it's happening. And that's where things get dicey. This tech doesn't need your permission. It doesn't need a camera lens or a microphone, just a Wi-Fi signal and someone with the right software. Imagine a world where your landlord can track when you're home, or a hacker can watch your movements through your own walls. Or worse, governments use it for passive surveillance, saying, hey, we didn't record anything. We know that's not far off. In fact, patents from big tech companies have already hinted at using Wi-Fi for non-contact monitoring and surveillance programs. They love anything that leaves no trace, and if they're patenting it, you know they plan on using it. So how do you stop it? Honestly, you can't. Not easily. The only way would be to completely shut off your Wi-Fi, or wrap your house in a Faraday cage, and let's be real, that's not happening. We're heading into a future where every signal is a sensor. Where your internet doesn't connect you, it watches you. This is the kind of tech that changes the rules. It blurs the line between convenience and control, between connection and surveillance. So what will you do? Switch off the internet, go dark, or just allow this to happen? Scientists are using AI.
Sounds like you gotta go off grid with solar panels if you truly want privacy.
So somebody knocked out this cornerstone again. This isn't even a cornerstone. This whole thing got busted out. It's a plaque. And took the time capsule and all the paperwork that was behind it that stated who built this building, the people who were running it, and the jewels and the time here that we were in. It's right across the street from the old Catholic burying ground. So Solomon built all the shields and armor for the Templar. His son Rehoboam built the forts and fortified the city. That's one of your Templar forts right there. Down the street, they put a roof on it. So this is down the street from that cemetery burial site, okay? This is gonna be one of the Templar forts. You can see they added the roof. It's 387 Powers Park. They put it right there. In simple terms, you just are overlooking everything. All right, so this is the park right here. This will be the next site. You guys got to understand, these are all laid out and they're connected. The one site leads you to the other site. Right here, City of Troy, ritual bath. It's not a bird bath. That's why all these points are leading to these sites. Like what is powering these light posts, right, in the park? That's why it says powers the park. It even says it up there, powers the park. Right, this is going to be right across the street from the park. There's going to be the next building right there. I'm going to go over there. So this is the structure right across the street from the park. You can see this window got filled in, all right? This is their cornerstone right here. It says 1946. There's nothing on the other side. I had a couple roofers say that they don't roof over the copper, like slate or tar, but they're going to be leaving your copper pieces all along these structures, right? This is the laziest cover-up reset in human history, because they got to be making fun of us doing this stuff. It's all in plain sight. You just have to look. They say they don't lay tar over copper. What is that green right there? That is copper, right? So any of you guys coming in my comments trying to discredit me, you're going to have a really hard time, because I'm going to go get all the proof in real time. Holes into the walls. They didn't even use the right tools to do it, right? They're not even flush. Look, they caulked around this. They added all this here. This is such sloppy work. My grandfather would smack me in my head and send me home for the day. I'm not even kidding. He would bug out. If I ever left something like that, I'm not even joking with you guys, my father would lose it on me. So would my uncle. They wouldn't even let me on their sites if I did that. So somebody knocked out this cornerstone again.
The cover-up is real. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, because we do these videos every single day. And I'd love to see you tomorrow. So let's get straight back into the action.
So what bioenvironmental engineering is in the Air Force is equivalent to that of the OSHA and the EPA, if you're familiar with that. So we were an embedded liaison to make sure that we were tracking all of the aspects and impacts of the military, meaning what is the military doing and how is it impacting the environment, because we were accountable for that. One day I was going through that computer system, which if you want to look it up, it's called an Air Force Form 3952. It is the approval of hazardous materials. I was finding tons and tons of large quantities of aluminum, barium, strontium in the forms of oxides and sulfates. So I started asking questions. And at that point, my demonization began. You know, I made my rank. I was decorated. I was a non-commissioned officer of the quarter. I won lots of awards. I had no reason for anyone to attempt to demonize me. So then I get moved over to the other Air Logistics Center. There's only 2 in the Air Force, which is in Warner Robins, Georgia. This kind of carried with me. And I thought, you know what? Should I revisit this? Is it worth it? Did I hit something? Maybe it's need to know. I started finding the same things at Robins Air Force Base. I was now doing some more investigation work. Part of what I did was to use a high volume air sampler to air sample up to, I'd say, a football field in about 10 minutes. I also conducted soil sampling, because I thought, you know, if this is real and they are spraying this, it's going to get to the ground. So I conducted air sampling, I conducted soil sampling, and I was getting high levels of these contaminants.
That the skies that we're seeing are not normal cloud formations. These are man-made. And we found unusual spiking in barium, aluminum, strontium, magnesium, calcium, manganese. Aluminum, as one example, gets into the root systems of our crop trees and our trees, and it looks like the trees are dying of drought, but they're not. What happens is that the root systems can no longer absorb the water and the nutrients needed to survive.
They are manipulating the weather like crazy. And one of the ways they do it is this operation in Alaska called HARP, which fires high-power radio waves from into the ionosphere and has weather effects. Now, we've had these extremes of weather, floods, droughts. When we have these extremes of weather, they say it's because the jet stream has moved from where it normally is. This guy, Bernard Eastland, who wrote many of the patents for the HARP project, said that HARP can steer the jet stream. And this is what Dr. Richard Day said in 1969. The weather will be modified and used as a weapon of war to create drought or famine.
Those are NEXRAD stations. Each of those towers are 750 kilowatts, pumping out between 2.7 to 2.9 gigahertz in the microwave range. This is roughly the same frequency as your microwave oven. This was 12 hours long that they held this pulse while we slept. Look at these. Watch these towers and these stations. This is not weather. This is not rain. The light, look, would you see that huge burst coming out of Nevada? These are your fifth generation network stations that are all lighting up together.
Transmission system. That's right. That's right. It's in the outside of Tromsø, the biggest HARP type of thing, part of ASCAT system. The system going from Svalbard, Tromsø, Kiruna in Sweden has the headquarters of the whole system, and then in Lapland, in Finnish Lapland, in Sarako. And you know, when they blast electromagnetic fields, it goes through all of Europe.
For entertainment purposes only, do your own research on everything. This is only theories and allegedly.
A man has been experiencing terrifying activity in his home and believes a mimic followed him from work.
This is Jacob.
A man has been experiencing terrifying activity in his home and believes a mimic followed him from work. We have featured his account several times, and the bizarre activity has not decreased. On this particular night, his neighbor called him to let him know his lights inside his house had been flickering non-stop, and they felt as though an intruder may be inside.
So, let's go look. Nobody should be in here right now. Bro, why is my pipe? Who are you? What do you want?
If you thought I didn't have an excellent specimen for you today, think again.
Couple of reactive properties that you might have heard of when it comes to minerals is fluorescence and tenebraescence. Now fluorescence, which is something like fluorite, for example, like this. So fluorite exhibits fluorescence. In fact, fluorescence is quite literally named after fluorite, which comes from the word fluor, which means flow. Now fluorescence makes minerals glow under a strong UV light, or sometimes in the sunlight like this. They'll shine, but stop when that light turns off, or when it's taken indoors. Now tenebraescence, on the other hand, is actually quite rare. It changes colour in light, sunlight, or UV, and then darkens over time. So even when that UV light is turned off, it might maintain that colour change for a bit, and then it gradually dissipates. So fluorescence is instant light, tenebraescence lasts much longer, and it's exhibited by minerals like hackmanite, for example.
Who saw that sticker? They wanted $220 for that bad boy. I had to name this piece. I would name it Deep Ocean Brick.
Are you okay?
Stay, wait. Do you remember me? No. Serious. What? Sorry. Stay there, wait. Stay there. Excuse me. You stay. I know you. I don't know you. Okay. You know somebody I know? Okay, shake my hands.
He started reaching for something and he had to speak up.
I thought somebody I know, sorry. His name is...
And you keep running after me.
Because it look like him, Mr. Fernando, no? It's not you?
No.
Okay, sorry. I thought someone I know. You don't play football together.
Are you okay?
My question is why was he so willing to run? He didn't ask for help or anything. He just started running, bucking it.
Dude, this little Blue Origin thing, why is nobody talking about this? The ship taking off and the ship landing. Look, you know, Elon's land with the little thing where they like catch them like chopsticks. This one right here, though, it just, I mean, come on, man. See, man, watch right here, dude. All right, look, so not even 5 seconds. Dude, this little Blue Origin thing, why is nobody talking about this? The ship taking off and the ship landing. Look, you know, Elon's land with the little thing where they like catch them like chopsticks. This one right here, though, it just, I mean, come on, man. See, man, watch right here, dude. All right, look, so not even 5 seconds in, and look how fake this looks. Just keep looking, man. I mean, people really watch this and say, oh my goodness, this just looks so cool. I mean, dude, the idea of it is absolutely amazing. I've always thought that. But when they show us stuff like this right here, man, it just blows my mind, dude. It really and truly does. And I'll never, ever understand it. Now, when this thing goes to land, man, it just... You know, that thing's coming that fast, and they're able to just land it perfectly. That's like a paper towel roll. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know this one's got rockets, but is it even there really? I mean, what? There's just so many questions, man. There's just so many questions about this right here. Dude, this little Blue Origin thing, why is nobody talking about this?
It's interesting that they wouldn't have any close-up cameras to capture it inside the dust landing.
Do you remember when we were wondering what these things were for in Russia? We'll take a look.
Magnetic levitation, Maglev. This past civilization knew how to harness the energy of Earth. These magnetic ironclad roadways were laid out all over the world and buried underneath modern asphalt. The ionosphere monowheel, built specifically for this magnetic levitation. In the 1869 unicycle was referred to as the Flying Yankee Velocipede. All of it was hidden from our civilization. Hidden within these gas-powered exhibitions was the true technology. You just can't fool all of the people, all of the time. Magnetic levitation.
So, in regards to this video and these being used for maglev, magnetic levitation, I was right. You were right too, if you guessed magnetic levitation. Also, I made a mistake, I think. We were under the impression that just because the asphalt was over it, that, no, this still worked with the asphalt over it. This still worked with it over it. It's just we don't have those machines. So that would still work. But even if this is magnetic and that's what we were using it for, let's be honest. That means this is connected to a source or something, a charge that turns and spins. How else is this magnetized? Unless all through the city is a bunch of these discs And all these discs are magnetic. So I need somebody in Russia to go see if they're magnetic for me, please. I appreciate that. So when we said Maglev roads, we was definitely on the right track. I think we're starting to wake up, and it's a beautiful thing. You can't lie to us about the old world when all the old tech is still there.
I always wondered what those weird tracks were. Could it be possible it was actually used for levitation? Magnetized vehicles. How interesting.
Probably one of you.
No, it wasn't.
No, we heard it. You were not, but if it was, if you don't mind, just don't do it again.
I don't know who you're dealing with.
Oh, who am I dealing with?
I'm not some fucking little Mormon lady.
There they are. They're right here.
What? What's going on?
You guys need to go ahead and leave this.
No, we heard that too.
You really think they're going to believe you?
Are you? Yeah, because you're crazy. They don't believe you. You're crazy.
We didn't see anything. We're trying to figure out what's going on.
Found me. I'm the youngest guy, but that doesn't mean I don't have manners.
Well, you're obviously showing that you don't right now, calling her crazy.
Hey, A and B conversation. See your way out of it.
I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm a very successful person.
Uh-huh.
That could shock you.
Yeah, yeah.
I will never
Listen,
shock
we don't
you
need to
again.
hear any shit from you.
I'm getting assaulted.
Assaulted. They're gonna leave. Absolutely.
All right, let's do another one of these real quick. So this is the Office of the Superintendent of Public Instruction. What the f? This used to be the old Capitol building. Had an octagonal tower that burnt down. 8-sided clock tower that burnt down. And again, this whole fucking thing's made out of solid granite. You know, Olympia. Why this? Why, like, you carved that out of granite. This is my favorite. It was us, the Richie architect, Bobby and Evans contractors. It's like, yeah, I would also like to claim that I built this building if I'm going to live in it. Guys, that's the windowsill. One, suspicious that, oh, she's working. It's suspicious that it's on the ground. But look how fucking thick that windowsill is. Do you know how heavy that thing is? It's a little excessive for a windowsill, right? Like the level of ornamentation. Get out of here. Also, it's half underground. If you know about the mud floods, you know about the mud floods. It just goes on and on. They're lying. All right, let's do another one of these real quick.
Did you see the clock tower that it used to be in? I wonder why they did that.
So this is the Office of the Superintendent of Public Instruction. What the fuck? This used to be the old Capitol building. Had an octagonal tower.
Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look how nice that tower is. That would have been truly amazing to see today.
For the elite, it was never about living forever. They already had gained immortality. But what's the point of living forever if you can never ascend into the fifth dimension? And although the Elohim may be stuck here in this third dimension, reincarnating again and again, eventually when the black sun rises, we will have our turn to exit. Within the fifth dimension, it's outside space and time. So these reincarnations that we're living over and over again is just a blip in the eyes of the eternal Elohim. The Anunnaki have already obtained the melanin. They learned how to extract it from our DNA. I guess we'll see if all the battles and wars were really worth it. It's very interesting times we're heading into. When the black sun rises, all different types of new species are going to be born. I'm very interested to see what happens to the mixed species on this planet. For the elite, it was never about living forever.
When's this movie coming out? UAP splitting into 3 objects and back into 1. Is there any background information to this? Where is this happening? Look how the middle one changes colors. This UFO, UAP, what is it? Daytona Beach mothership. Dang, that was a good one. Just a quick recap on this because that one was insane. We see the light popping up here under night vision. It looks like the sun and moon, but I believe that's an actual ship like this. This has to be two different motherships. Or could it be connected to the same one? Then looking at this thing, what is this octagon? What dimension did this bust through?
The aliens are coming for us! Dude, they're literally coming out of the cloud. What the fuck? What the? Wait, what? They just disappeared? No. This is a whole colony. This is definitely an alien invasion. The aliens are coming for us! Dude, they're literally coming out of the cloud. What the fuck? What the? Wait, what? They just... The aliens are coming for us! Dude, they're literally coming out of the cloud. What the fuck? What the? Wait, what? They just disappeared? Oh, come on, trees. They're gone. They're gone. They're gone.
That is...
What the fuck? They're gone!
They did just come out of those trees, and right when it did look like they were coming out of the clouds, but as soon as they got behind the trees, they vanished. We have a cigar-shaped UFO seen over Mexico.
What the fuck?
Here's a crazy theory. What if this is a cloaked airship and that's just the inside of it where the passengers are looking out?
What the fuck?
The code word for today's video is Thursday Banger. Go ahead and drop Thursday Banger in the comments. It lets me know that you're a real one. You made it all the way through to the end. And I just want to say thank you for your support. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you tomorrow.